Founded in 2017, Aeralis is the first British company in over 50 years to develop a new jet trainer aircraft. The excellent Hawker Siddeley BAE Systems Hawk aircraft has been used to train RAF and Royal Navy fast jet pilots since 1976 but is in urgent need of replacement. Here we look at the current situation and a unique British approach that potentially meets the requirement for a modern and affordable replacement. The UK's military flying training system MFTS, which is supposed to produce highly trained pilots ready to join frontline squadrons, is not delivering adequate numbers. The UK has been forced to partially outsource portions of flying training to allies at a cost of over £50 million a year. This reliance on foreign support not only wastes precious funds but also undermines sovereignty and disrupts force cohesion. The failure to train enough new pilots is not just an obscure RAF problem but is already impacting on the Navy as a contributing factor in the Lightning Force's inability to generate and sustain an adequate air group for the aircraft carriers. More broadly, it's a deep concern for the defense of the UK and its interests as aerial threats increase. Ideally, a much larger cadre of fully trained fast jet pilots is needed as a reserve and to allow a potential increase in combat aircraft numbers in future. While uncrewed combat aircraft are on the horizon, a completely autonomous fast jet force is several decades away in the future. Crewed aircraft will likely remain the core of combat air, although supplemented by teamed, autonomous or remotely piloted air vehicles. The need for skilled pilots and a jet aircraft to prepare them for frontline operations will remain a requirement for many years to come. From the Jet Provost to the Hawk, British aircraft have trained generations of fast jet pilots for Britain and its allies. The US used the Hawk as the basis for the T-45 Goshawk, subsequently adapted to allow carrier deck landings. The design also proved capable of modification into a combat aircraft. The T-1 is serving the RAF briefly in the 1980s and several combat variants were also developed for export customers. 28 new Hawk T-2s with a digital cockpit were delivered to the RAF between 2009 to 2012. BAE Systems has chosen not to develop a successor to the Hawk T-2 primarily because there was no firm demand signal from government for a new trainer. Putting off making a decision, the MOD had optimistically hoped the Hawk could serve until 2040, but mounting costs and availability issues have since proven otherwise. With BAE Systems focused on more high-end platforms such as Typhoon and GCAP, as well as foreign competition in the jet trainer market, a Hawk successor has not been forthcoming. Since entering service in the 1970s, over 1,000 Hawks have been sold globally, contributing more than £15 billion to the UK economy. This legacy of British aviation excellence could disappear without proactive decision-making. The T-1 fleet was retired in 2022 apart from the Red Arrows that still fly the T-1. The official out-of-service date for the T-2 is 2033, which means a plan for replacement needs to be made now. Founded in 2017, Aeralis is the first British company in over 50 years to develop a new jet trainer aircraft. Its offer is unlike anything currently on the market, a digitally engineered, modular aircraft system built around a common core fuselage. This design allows different variants to be quickly assembled to suit specific roles, from basic flying training and advanced tactical training to light combat or display duties. The aircraft is designed with NATO and European air forces in mind, and its modularity supports international collaboration. Overseas customers can ensure they have a high proportion of national workshare by selecting domestically manufactured components. Partners could adapt the airframe to national requirements, build under license, or integrate into joint training programs. Aeralis has already spent 5 years developing the jet, which is currently about 60% complete. The design is low-risk, fusing existing, proven technologies with new digital tools. It can be civil certified, allowing it to operate in both military and public airspace, including aerobatic displays. The project leverages partnerships with over 40 UK-based firms and, if selected by the MOD, would support around 4,000 British jobs and likely generate significant export revenue. The development is privately funded and does not require upfront investment from government. All that is needed is a commitment from the MOD to utilize the aircraft, for training, for the Red Arrows, or as part of a broader defense industrial strategy. The taxpayer will also not have to cover the capital cost of each aircraft and will simply pay by the number of flying hours. This commercial approach reduces financial risk for the customer. The modular system is estimated to be 50% cheaper to develop, 25% cheaper to acquire, and up to 60% cheaper to operate through life, than compared to traditional jet trainer fleets. If the British solution is not selected, then it would default to a choice between foreign designs with significant drawbacks. The Leonardo M346 is already in use by some RAF trainees but is a twin-engine gas guzzler with an older design heritage and limited adaptability. It was originally a Russian Yak-130 design before diverging in the 1990s, hardly a strong selling point in today's geopolitical climate. The Boeing T-7A Red Hawk is suffering cost overruns and development delays. Other options, such as Turkey's Hurjet, the Swiss PC-21, or Korean T-50, either lack the necessary performance, carry sovereignty concerns, or push trainees too quickly to frontline types. Critics argue the Red Arrows are an expensive luxury that contributes little to operational capability. Costing the mod at least £12 million per year, their role is largely ceremonial and symbolic. However, they are held in great affection by the public and effectively promote the RAF and the UK overseas, in a powerful demonstration of soft power. Their aging Hawk T-1S will have to be grounded for safety reasons by 2030 at the latest. If the Aeralis solution is not selected, the only alternative would be to fly a foreign aircraft, potentially one derived from a Russian design, or the team will have to be disbanded. The Aeralis jet trainer proposition is also an opportunity for politicians in Whitehall to rethink procurement more widely. There is a need to consider innovative companies offering options in addition to the usual primes. Avoiding the ponderous CADMID cycle, rigid requirements, prolonged reviews, unnecessary competitions and Byzantine bureaucracy, there are many ways that effective systems could be delivered to the front line faster and more efficiently. Across defense, an increasing number of capabilities have been dangerously gapped because a decision on the replacement was put off, either due to treasury constraints or by politicians happy to let their successors take the hard decisions. In addition to the effect of collectively weakening security, delays almost always imply increased future costs or even permanent loss of entire capabilities and their supporting industry. Although Aeralis does not yet have a flying prototype, it needs commitment from government to advance this relatively low-risk solution to the next stage. There appear to be few downsides with no capital outlay for the taxpayer. This would be an affordable and timely solution, utilizing British skills and industry and an opportunity for the UK to regain its formerly strong export market share.